The stories you're about to see are real. The rewards up to $5 million are real. This is Augusta Crime Stoppers, where you stay anonymous. The criminals don't.
The assistant manager for Walmart, 41-year-old Kevin Clay, was arrested Friday for smuggling out 4 iPhones worth about $2,500. About 40% of all employees now steal from or allow others to steal from their employers. Here's a video of an employee at Kroger allowing a friend of hers to steal the sodas that are on the bottom shelf of his cart. In the video, you'll notice he never puts the sodas on the counter or rings them up. Yet, she even gives him a refund on the cash money that he got off of his EBT card. Here are some other videos of employees stealing from their employers. One of the main ways that employees steal from their employers is they form groups or gangs. They form friendships. One friend lets the other friend steal. That's really what's happening. We've even brought it to the attention of security at certain stores. Hey, those people are stealing over there. And you walk around the corner and see that the items were obviously bulging out from under their shirt. But because the guard had some type of connection to the thieves, he let them steal. If you can get a video of somebody stealing from an employer or employee or anybody really, but we really want to concentrate on this employee theft, send it to Griff at AugustaCrimeStoppers.org. And if we can turn this over to the police and the police can get an arrest, we'll give you a cash reward within hours of that arrest. All you have to do is call 800-222-TIPS. That's 800-222-8477, where you remain anonymous and get paid. North Augusta Department of Public Safety sent in this press release. On 1/19/2015, the subject pictured is believed to have used the victim's credit card number to make fraudulent purchases at Publix and Rite Aid in North Augusta. The subject purchased greeting cards as well as gift cards using a credit card with the victim's account number on it. Any information on the identity of the suspect is asked to call investigator Lind, L-I-N-D, at North Augusta Department of Public Safety at 803-441-4278. Crime Stoppers, if you spot them in Georgia, at 800-222-TIPS, which is 8477. Or text your tips to 803-441-8744, where you remain anonymous and get paid.
And now, this Crime Stoppers special report.
The Richmond County Sheriff's Office announces that they're going to be putting body cameras on every road patrol deputy real soon, and they're testing the new body cameras. Deputies are testing 4 different types of body cameras with the goal of every deputy in uniform wearing one. The Sheriff's Office says they need 400 body cameras, averaging $500 per camera, which will cost the Sheriff's Office about $200,000. Lieutenant Lewis Blanchard was quoted as saying, "There's a model that actually costs about $120, but a deputy can delete the footage, so that wouldn't work for us." Richmond County hopes federal funds will pay for half, but it's the storage that costs most, at about $200,000 a year. Richmond County says they'll follow state policy of when deputies turn on and off body cameras. They said they must get consent to record video before coming in your home. They expect those cameras to create over 2 million videos a year, and their cameras may have to be replaced every 3 years. Deputies say they expect to choose a camera and have it on every deputy in the next 3 to 6 months. So if you get pulled over, or you're near a deputy, or you're talking to a deputy, smile. You're on camera. Go to our Facebook page and let us know what you think. Just go to Facebook and search for AugustaCrimeStoppers.org and then put what you think about being put on video when all the deputies have a camera.
For Complex News, I'm Jinx. On Friday, footage of a fatal shooting involving an Oklahoma police officer was released. What makes this footage different, however, is that it came from one of the body cameras currently being tested in police departments around the nation. The Muskogee Police Department shared video from Officer Chancey McMillan's police-issued body camera that captured the shooting and killing of 21-year-old Terrence D. Walker this past Saturday, January 17th in Muskogee, Oklahoma. The police were called following a domestic complaint that stated that Walker had made repeated threats toward his ex-girlfriend. Witnesses later stated that Walker was telling police that his ex had a bullet with her name on it. The video shows Officer McMillan arriving on the scene in response to that call and approaching the suspect.
Sir, do me a favor, take your hands out of your pockets for me. Take your hands out of your pockets.
Teams at the ER.
Okay, go pat you down for weapons, okay? You got anything that's gonna poke, stick up and hurt me?
As you can see, he attempts to pat down Walker for weapons. During his attempted search, Walker breaks away and takes off running. We need to advise you that the footage you are about to see is explicit and graphic in nature.
Okay, just relax for me, just relax. Relax. Why are you shaking for? Relax. Shots fired! Shots fired!
McMillan fired 6 shots, hitting Walker 3 times. Just before the fatal shooting, Walker appears to have dropped something and stopped to pick it up. Oklahoma's KFOR reports that McMillan believed the item to have been a firearm. Some witnesses are claiming that Walker dropped his cell phone. Police are saying that he had his phone in his left hand and dropped an item from his right side. They went on to state, "It is our belief that the video clearly shows a suspect pointing the gun at the officer." The body cam video continues as officers approach Walker and search him, declaring he's got a gun.
512 star to your man. Suspect's been shot. He's got a gun.
McMillan has been with the Muskogee Police Department since July of 2012. This is the second shooting that came from his hands in the last 6 months. The previous incident took place in July of last year, where he shot a man who allegedly attacked another man with a knife before going after McMillan with the weapon raised. He did not kill that suspect. As a result, Officer McMillan was applauded by his police chief for employing non-lethal force. Following this shooting, however, McMillan's been placed on administrative leave as a mandatory action in line with the department's policy regarding multiple on-the-job shootings within a specific time frame. Muskogee police are continuing their investigation into the shooting, including a closer look at the body camera footage. There's a lot we could say about what we've just witnessed. But what we will say is that it's clear that officers utilizing body cameras turn what would be hearsay into legitimate evidence and potentially help mitigate some of the blurred details that arise in these fast-paced life and death moments. For Complex News, I'm Jinx.
For every officer in Laurel, Maryland's police department, the day starts and ends right here.
We each grab a camera, and as you can see here, it clips on to the side of my glasses or a headband, or there's different mounts that way.
It's commonly referred to as the lipstick camera, with its shape and size resembling that of the women's popular makeup. But the gadget is far from just an aesthetic pleasure. It's the latest technology being implemented into police departments across the country, allowing for officers to record interactions from a rare vantage point.
It just gives a completely unbiased view of the situation. It can't be slanted one way or the other.
Every 3 starters, 2 more units. She just took off.
It records everything they see, every single police-to-citizen interaction, from traffic stops like this one to a simple bystander asking for directions. So the question is, where does all the recorded footage go? While at Laurel's Police Department, officers show me just how it's done. It all runs through a secure online server that officers can then access through an app on their smartphone. But the main server for the thousands of police interactions that happen daily is right here on a storage website called evidence.com. This is where officers can log in and view their captured footage. And even though they can see the video, the police department says officers cannot tamper with it.
They cannot alter, they cannot delete, they cannot change, they have no, it's a view only for them. At 181 days, TASER notifies us as administrators that they're getting ready to purge the system.
180 days, that's the policy for how long video can be stored on the server before it's automatically purged. But while police officers seem to be playing by the rules, privacy advocates at the ACLU say that the implementation of these cameras has presented conflicting viewpoints.
On the one hand, they are cameras. There are more cameras in our public spaces, which is a trend that we've been generally fighting. And they're cameras run by the police. On the other hand, we've seen a lot of situations in which these cameras on the bodies of police act as a very effective check and balance against police abuses.
Check and balance indeed. In Rialto, California, police conducted a randomized controlled study. After cameras were introduced in February of 2012, public complaints against officers plunged 88% compared with the previous 12 months. And as for the officers' use of force, that fell by 60%. But the ACLU and other privacy advocates are still concerned over the power police officers have to turn their camera on and off, perhaps then failing to capture behavior that they don't want taped.
Police are going to have an incentive to be dishonest about certain things, and the cameras help keep them honest, but they could be dishonest about whether the camera was working or not.
Privacy advocates are demanding that police departments implement airtight policies so that people don't have to depend on the honesty of police officers. It's only then, they say, that this could be a force for good, allowing citizens to make sure their law enforcement is following the law. In Washington, Mira David, RT.
Richmond County Sheriff's Office is looking for Octavius Thomas Bowens in regards to first-degree burglary. Octavius Thomas Bowens is 29 years of age. He's 6 foot, 180 pounds. He has black hair and brown eyes. If you think you know where the Richmond County Sheriff's Office can find this suspected first-degree burglar, Octavius Thomas Bowens, please call Investigator Ferguson or any other property crimes investigator at the Richmond County Sheriff's Office at 706-821-1020. Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or text your tips to 803-441-8744. Where you remain anonymous, get burglars out of your house, and get paid. Augusta Richmond County Coroner Mark Bowen sent in this news release. Tuesday night at approximately 0047 hours, the Hepzibah Police Department responded to the 5200 block of Farmers Bridge Road in reference to a structure fire. While battling the blaze, the fire department found a body in the residence believed to be the occupant of the residence. The body was burned beyond recognition. The body has been sent to the GBI lab in Atlanta for an autopsy and DNA testing for positive identification. The victim was pronounced dead at 0240 hours at the scene. The fire is still under investigation and no other details are available at this time. If this turns out to be yet another Augusta arson, there is an up to $10,000 reward for information leading to the arsonist. If you think you have evidence leading you to believe that the Farmers Bridge Road house burning was arson, please call the police. Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or text your tips to 803-441-8744, where you remain anonymous and get paid.
Fulton County Police are on the hunt for this man after surveillance cameras caught him trying to set a woman's house on fire. Beverly Young was home when the flames started outside last week. She says the arsonist doused her house in so much gasoline it was dripping through her ceiling, but her home still didn't catch fire. Young is convinced someone put the young man up to the crime.
I feel sorry for him. I'm just going to be honest with him. I hope he repent because he needs love, charity. He fall in the wrong crowd.
Young says she's already forgiven the arsonist. If you recognize him, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers or the Fulton County Police.
And now, this Crime Stoppers special report.
If you're like us at Crime Stoppers, you've probably heard various anti-gun groups claiming that the increased acceptance of firearms in American society is going to lead to more violent crime and gun accidents. Unfortunately for the gun grabbers, we know that gun accidents have been steadily declining for decades for both children and adults, and are now at an all-time historical low, even as firearm ownership in the United States is an all-time high, both in terms of raw numbers, more than 300 million firearms, and in terms of the percentage of the population believed to be armed, more than 100 million, and the number of permitted concealed carriers, more than 11 million. Both the number of gun owners and the number of total firearms in the United States every day is theoretically meeting all new, all-time highs each and every day. The gun control groups and the media outlets attempting to carry their proverbial water have been reduced to claiming that the social acceptance of gun culture is somehow leading to more violent crime. Perhaps they should have spoken with the FBI before crafting that lie. Figures released today in the FBI's preliminary semi-annual Uniform Crime Report reveal overall declines in the number of violent crimes and property crimes reported to law enforcement during the first 6 months of 2014 when compared to figures for the first 6 months of 2013. Violent crimes reported for January through June of 2014 were down 4.6% from the same time period in 2013. All of the offenses in the violent crime category, murder and non-negligent manslaughter, rape, aggravated assault, and robbery, showed decreases, and the number of property crimes during the same time period decreased 7.5%, with all three offenses, burglary, larceny, theft, and motor vehicle theft, showing declines. There are those who hype fear to sell gun control, then those who look to the hard data and come to the inescapable conclusion that firearm ownership reduces crime. The science is settled. A good guy with a gun stops the bad guys with a gun. However, if you find out that someone's participating in crime, or you've been a victim of crime, or you know how to solve a crime, please call Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or text your tips to 803-441-8744, where you remain anonymous and get paid.
While pushing the idea that everyone that buys a gun goes crazy and instantly becomes a gunslinger, here's some stories that the anti-rights groups do not want you to hear.
It is investigators admit that she did everything right. She called 911, she armed herself and she hid. But while she was on the phone waiting for help to arrive, she was forced to take care of the problem herself, pulling the trigger on a man she's certain would have killed her.
They tied my front door and my cut door. Now they're trying to break in my back gate.
Okay, stay on the line with me. I've already got off the start. Do not hang up, okay?
All right, I have a gun in my hand. I'm terrified.
May 6th, near 67th Avenue and Indian School in Phoenix. Police say 20-year-old Michael Lewis is breaking into the home of a widow who told me that her late husband taught her something that would save her life. How to handle a .38 caliber handgun.
Yeah, I've got a lot of options coming out now.
It just broken.
It just broke?
Yeah, it was my upstairs door.
Okay, yeah, I've got them coming out there. They're coming out as fast as they can.
The homeowner begs the dispatcher for help before hiding in the bathroom.
You don't need to answer anything. I'm going to stay on the line with you, okay? What happened?
What did you do? If you're going to use a stick, you have to stick it. If you find my left foot. Oh, no. I shot him.
You shot him?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, I've got everybody coming out for help, okay?
Please hurry. Don't get up, I'll shoot you again.
Out of breath, she tries to explain whether she's hurt.
I don't know. My face is bleeding. I'm bleeding from some places, but I don't know where. I don't know. He was beating on me.
He was hitting you?
He was beating on me when he found out I was in there.
Michael Lewis pled guilty to second-degree burglary and aggravated assault. He was granted bond last week, and he is out of jail right now while he waits being sentenced here on September 15th.
The homeowner tells us he's on medical leave from his job with the Postal Service. He was at home just trying to get some rest when several doorbell rings woke him up.
I hear a strong knock. And I'm like, something going on.
Quentin Wood says it was the suspect breaking through his front door. You can see the hinges that came undone as Quentin grabbed his gun and called police.
It's quiet. I hear something happening, but I'm not sure what's happening, but I know he's in my house.
Seconds later, the homeowner came face to face with the suspect.
I'm like, man, why are you doing this? Why you do this? And he told me, I'm a thief. I'm a thief.
After that, Quentin says the thieves started coming toward him and he had no other choice but to shoot. Reporting in Northwest Harris County, Samantha Tashkin, KPRC Local 2.
Well, Ursula, police are telling us that it was the homeowner who shot this burglar and that it all started right here at this home right behind me. Now, that happened about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Police say the homeowner was asleep inside when he heard a knock at the door. He told officers he wasn't expecting anyone, so he didn't rush to answer it. But that's when he heard someone kick the door down. Police say that's when he grabbed a gun to defend himself.
Was able to grab his handgun in the process of 3 suspects breaking the front door into his location. He was able to fire off several rounds. One of those rounds hit one of the suspects.
After one of the suspects was shot, all 3 took off from the scene in a light-colored Camry. The suspected burglar that was shot was dropped off at Baptist Hospital downtown by the 2 other suspects. We're told that he is 26-year-old and he was shot in the upper torso and that he was later transported to University Hospital. As for the 48-year-old homeowner, we're told he's okay, and while the case is still under investigation, he will not face any charges. However, if the burglar recovers, he will face charges. We're live on the city's northwest side. Stephanie Cerna, KSAT 12 News.
The surveillance video captures it all. 4 suspects, armed and dangerous, attempting to invade his southwest side home.
The victim was able to get back inside his house, close his door, semi-barricaded, reach for a weapon that was easily accessible.
That's when you hear gunfire. The 4 men retreat, get into their car, but not before the homeowner's bullets hit the windshield. Pima County Sheriff's officials say the homeowner has surveillance cameras installed all around his house.
But the man gets her alone, her nightmare begins. He appears to have a gun in his pocket and orders her to hand over all her cash. But that's not all he wants. He also orders her to come around from behind her.
I got real nervous and I said, why? I've already given you money. There's nothing else. And by then I was terrified.
So terrified that she does something she's never done in her life. She grabs a gun hidden in a drawer and pulls the trigger. It's the first time she's ever fired a gun.
I felt that my life was in danger and I wasn't ready to die. I wasn't ready to go yet.
The suspect goes down, but he's still alive.
I was going to shoot him again, and that's when he started screaming, I don't have anything, ma'am, I don't have anything.
The suspect doesn't have a weapon, and now Smith could be in trouble, facing possible charges for shooting an unarmed man.
And I was more worried about them coming after me.
Fortunately for the sales clerk, the video shows her being threatened and shooting in self-defense.
These are only a few of the thousands of such stories buried in the archives of TV networks and TV stations. The truth is, gun violence is down, and the gun grabbers don't want you to know it. They want to brainwash you against guns. I'm Dave Michaels.
Now for another edition of Dumb Crook News. Columbia County investigators have pictures of a cell phone thief after the dummy took smiling cell phone selfies on the stolen cell phone. Photos that automatically uploaded to the victim's iCloud account. The black female thief you see on your screen came into a Martinez tattoo shop January 6th and talked with the owner about a tattoo. When the owner stepped back into his tattoo room to prepare a chair, The black female grabbed the owner's $500 cell phone from the waiting room and bolted out of the store. The owner followed the black female outside and saw her and a male driving away in a burgundy in color sedan. But the victim was able to turn over these images to Columbia County authorities when they appeared on his iCloud account from his stolen phone. If you think you know who or where this dumb crook is, please call the Columbia County Sheriff's Office at 706-541-2800. Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS. Or text your tips to 803-441-8744. Where you remain anonymous, have fun stopping dumb crooks, and get paid. Richmond County Sheriff's deputies report a 76-year-old woman had a bottle thrown at her vehicle Wednesday after telling two young males to stop littering. While traveling westbound on Skinner Mill Road, the 76-year-old victim observed a bottle being thrown out of the passenger side window of the truck in front of her. She followed the truck to the intersection of Skinner Mill Road and Walton Way Extension, where both vehicles stopped at a traffic light. The elderly lady blew her horn, rolled down her window, and told the two young black males to stop littering. When the light turned green, the passengers in the truck rolled down his window and struck the woman's vehicle with a bottle. The victim said her vehicle suffered a scratch on the driver's side door. The suspects are described as two black males last seen driving a large, full-size truck with dark, tinted windows. Although some of you may not think being hit with a bottle is anything serious, Crime Stoppers regards a glass bottle being thrown at someone in an automobile in a busy intersection that could have caused a chain reaction of accidents, we don't know, as assault and battery with a deadly weapon, because that lady could have lost control of her car. All kinds of things could have happened. So Crime Stoppers is putting a $1,000 cash reward to be paid within hours of you turning in these two thugs to the police. The minute we see their picture of their being arrested, we're going to contact you as a tipster, or get back with you, or let you know, or you call us, or something. And we're going to ask you where you want us to stack your cash, or what bank account you want us to stack cash in. There is no excuse for all this littering going on in town. Crime Stoppers has an up to $1,000 reward on any type of littering where you get a picture, or you get a conviction, or you get somebody arrested and put in jail for littering in Augusta. AugustaCrimeStoppers.org will pay you within hours a cash reward of up to $1,000. Let's get these dangerous thugs off our street before they cause a chain reaction that could kill your loved ones at the next red light on Walton Way or Washington Road. We just can't keep putting up with people who are trying to hurt everyone around them and just don't give a rip about anybody but themselves. Crime Stoppers has helped drop the crime rate in this area, and it's because you're calling our toll-free 800-222-TIPS tips line, or you're texting in tips to 803-441-8744. You're remaining anonymous, and you're getting paid. Go to our Facebook page, search for AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, and take a look at all the crimes that you can get paid on. But more importantly, if you become aware of a violent, mean, nasty, littering, filthy, stenching thug, call them in, get them off the street, and we'll have a much better town. Thank you, Augusta, for making Augusta Crime Stoppers the #1 fastest growing Crime Stopper network in this part of the world.
Augusta Crime Stoppers is brought to you by WBEK Channel 16 and Augusta Crime Stoppers. You too could be a Crime Stopper. If you have any information on any crime, call our tip line at 1-800-222-TIPS. Augusta Crime Stoppers is a production of Michaels Media. Augusta Crime Stoppers, where you stay anonymous. The criminals don't.